Hi, and welcome to the One Stamp, Three Cards class hosted by Two Peas in a Bucket. I'm Jen Gallacher, and today we will be making 3 cards using one stamp. The stamp we will be using today is the Dear Lizzie stamp called Blackberry from American Crafts. To start the stamp, the first card, I have pre-folded my cardstock, and we are going to start with some pink dot pattern paper, and I've pre-stitched this pattern paper. So to put this down on the page, I'm just going to use some adhesive, and I'm only going to put adhesive on the bottom of the card, and I'll show you why. I like to use twine on my projects, and in order to wrap the twine around, I just need it adhered at the bottom. And to wrap the twine around, you simply wrap it several times around the top part of the pink dotted pattern paper. I usually wrap it about 3 times, but it's up to you. And then trim off enough that you can tie it into a bow. There is lots of different twine available in the two-piece store. There is baker's twine, which comes in 2 different colors each time, or there's just regular twine that you can choose from. You could also put a ribbon here in place of the twine. So trim off the excess. All right, we're going to stamp our first sentiment, and that is going to be the Find You Be You. If you are purchasing clear acrylic stamps, you are going to need some acrylic blocks. I suggest getting them in a couple of different sizes. This is a medium size one. It's probably the one that I use most of the time. It's about 2 by 3 inches. And then we're going to use some pink stamping ink to stamp this sentiment on my card. Move the twine out of the way. Press firmly, but don't rock your stamp. If you rock your stamp, you can get an outline around your word. So there you have the sentiment. All right, now the next part of this card is going to be some teal dotted pattern paper, which we'll put on the left side of the card. And then I have a strip of wood grain pattern paper. And we'll go ahead and put this on the top of the twine. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to use the butterfly found on this stamp set, this butterfly right here, and I'm using the exact same acrylic block, and I've pre-punched using a 1 3/4 punch a circle from white cardstock. And we're going to go ahead and ink that up with the pink stamping ink, and we will just stamp right onto the circle. Now I have pre-punched some scallop circles from a 2-inch scallop punch, and we will just adhere the butterfly stamp right onto the scallop punch, and then we'll attach that to our layout, or rather our card. I'm going to use glue dot because I want it to stick a little bit better. All right, so now we are going to add some pearls from Prima's Say It With Pearls, and we'll just add those to the upper right corner of our card. So there you have our first stamped card. For the second stamped card, we're going to do a masculine card. I have already pre-stitched and added the twine on this particular card. And let's go ahead and add the sentiment stamp. Again, we're going to use the Find You Be You, and we're going to use this Ranger Stream ink. Lots of different ink colors in the two-piece store. You can use a dye ink or a pigment ink on this project, or even a distress or chalk ink, depending on the finishes that you want. So let's clean off our stamp. Okay, now let's add the pattern paper on the left side. And this time I have some green pattern paper that we will use on the right side. Okay, and now I have some, instead of pearls this time, I want to use some gems. I'm going to use the gray gems. They are from Little Yellow Bicycles line. It's the Elizabeth Park line. And so there you have the masculine beginning of our card. Again, let's use the butterfly, and we're going to use the teal ink again. And even on a masculine card, I don't see any problem with using a butterfly stamp. I think it's just as cute. And again, that's the 1 3/4 circle or 1 3/8 circle, and put it on the 2-inch scallop punch. And there you have the masculine version. All right, let's do one more card. This time we're going to use some warm hues. I have pre-stitched this yellow pattern paper and attached the twine. We can go ahead and attach this to our card. And this time we are going to use some orange ink to stamp our sentiment. Nice thing about an acrylic block is you can use both sides. All right, so here's the orange ink for our sentiment. And we'll go ahead and attach the pattern paper. And we have another strip that's going to go on here. It's the red pattern paper strip. And let's go ahead and stamp the butterfly with the orange ink again. Having things pre-punched and ready to go makes the project easier. Okay, so I stamped on the textured side and it didn't show up very well, so we can just flip it over. And on the back of this textured cardstock is a smooth surface, and sometimes your stamps images will need a firmer or a flatter surface, so you can experiment and find what works best for you. So go ahead and put it on the 2-inch scallop circle, and we'll attach that to our card. And let's use some more of this Elizabeth Park gems, and this time we'll use the yellow gems. So here is the completed card with the warmer hues. So we have the warmer hues, the masculine card, and kind of a feminine take. So all by using one stamp, we've produced 3 cards, and it's just a very quick and easy way to do this, especially if you use your scrapbooking scraps. So for more information and a downloadable PDF, visit twopeasinabucket.com in our classes and events section.